So I am actually on my way now to my old alma mater, my old university that I graduated from several years back. It's a business management kind of school here in Singapore, and it's the first time that I am signing up for what they're calling a mentor alumni program, something like that. So they're going to pair alumni graduates that graduated for several years with some of their current undergrads, current students that are looking for mentors in the respective fields that they want to go into, something like that. So it's my first event of such a nature, and the reason why I joined this program is because looking back, everything that I managed to learn and build and have today was all thanks to the mentor figures that I had at the time. And at that age, when you're still in university and you're still studying, so I completely remember exactly how it was like when you're at that age, and all like living in Singapore, most of us, like all we are thinking is at this point is like all studying and grades, right? How can I get the best of my GPA? How can I join the best groups? And how can I, get the best grades, get into the best modules, get the best professors, and graduate with the best resume and things like that. So if there is one thing that I can give to any of these mentees in this program, it's definitely not about the grades, because I was the worst student academically. Like, I was the worst student. I skipped classes, I didn't do homework, and my grades were shit. Like, I'm actually a very, very bad role model and bad example if you talk about academic grades, because I was almost fired twice from the school for not meeting the mark to have that aggregate score, the GPA. I never had it. So twice I received a warning letter, and they told me, like, one more time I fall below the mark, I'm going to be actually removed from the school, like fired from the school. So if there is something that I'm going to be giving to these mentees in this program, it's definitely nothing to do with how to study, right? I am very, very bad at that, because the whole time I was in this university, I was busy with two things, and I'm not using this as an excuse. The reality is I'm very bad with math and science. So living in Singapore my whole life, like, I have always struggled with the academics. And during my time in there, I knew that I could work really hard, and at the best I would probably be a B minus student. So I sucked so bad that I ended up becoming like a C minus student. So to me, it's not much difference. But in between that space, I focused on two things during my 4 years at the university. Number one, I built my own business. Right? I built my own martial art business. And that is actually the one thing that I've been doing for the last 10 years. I never had a job. And actually, I don't even know where my degree is. It's somewhere inside my cupboard, and I was 1 year late in collecting my degree because I was so busy with my business. And that was the only thing that I was focusing on. The second thing I was doing was I was busy competing in fencing, because I joined the club, the fencing club, and we travel, we train, and eventually I also trained, and I became a national fencer, and I trained and I competed even more. So combined with these two things, they always have a joke in university, the triangle that you can never complete. It's like something like good grades, like social life, and a girlfriend. So I had none of those three. They say you can only have two, like three, pick two. I had none of those three. I was focusing on my competitive athlete career, and I was building my martial art business. So I think the best thing that I could give to these mentees in this university, or if any of you undergrads or athletes are listening in as well, is actually, number one, how to think. And by how to think, I mean how to actually map out your next 10 years and actually have goals, have clear milestones, and a clear strategy. Right? That's what you need a mentor first in the first place, right? Having a mentor, and then you have a structure, and then you actually have proper habits. So you spend your next 10 years, in the school, and once you graduate, like, properly, you're investing your time and resources and energy properly. So that is the first thing that I can give in terms of how to think. The second thing I was thinking about what I can give is actually what not to do, because as being in the martial art business, when I was just practicing and trying to get good at the skill, the number one mistake I made was I was so focused on the craft that I never really think about the business side of things. So I was a very skilled technician, but I never had any business acumen. How to get students, how to finance the rent, how to create coaching training packages, how to run events, how to get leads, how to create different programs, low ticket programs, high end programs, how to properly mentor a student through a long-term training program, how to build a business, how to build a brand, how to get leads. You know, all these things I never do because I just focus on the skill, on being a technician, but I never learned the business side of things. That's the reason why the last 10 years I was so unsuccessful. So I would really share like what not to do, and then all these mistakes I made. Even being an athlete, I just trained and competed and I wanted to win, but I never had a long-term exit strategy. All this training, all this traveling, all these competitions, all this buying of equipment, all this costs money, costs resources, costs time. How to manage it, how to plan for it, right? I never knew this. I just wing it because I was young, I had energy, and I can go. And looking back, I could have done so much more and had so much more clarity, and had, most importantly, really just had a better game plan, right? So I was thinking about what I would be sharing at this event and what to give to these mentees, because it's really not so much about me. Of course, it does help me develop as a thinker and a leader, but really it's about them. And I was thinking, you know, these are the things. Number one, how to think, and it's probably for you as well, how to think, how to map out your next 10 years, and what not to do. Right? Just for clarification, there's nothing I'm going to be talking about grades. That is my worst aspect ever. Right? So that is my sharing for today. I'm looking forward to see how it goes. I'm sure that the more I share and the more I give, you know, the more it's going to help me with my own clarity as well. So what about you? You know, who are the teachers? Who are the mentor figures in your life that when you were young and you were clueless and you were winging it, did they manage to give you that kind of same clarity, that same kind of structure, that same kind of strategy, that same kind of support, right? The same kind of habits to nurture you into becoming a better thinker, a better person? If there is such a person in your life, you should be really, really grateful, and, you know, I encourage you now to just send them a text or whatever, a voice message, and thank them, because these kind of things takes energy and effort to do. You know, we don't get anything from it. So yeah, if this video brought you the clarity and inspiration you needed, remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell, so every time I release a video on what am I doing with my career, business, and life, you get notified. And if you know of a friend that needs to hear this message, that you need, you know, mentor figures in your life to give you that kind of clarity, that kind of structure, that kind of habits, do them a favor and tag them in the comments below, or just give them the link, the URL to this video. And you never know whose life you could impact when you make a gesture like that. So that's it. I have fun making this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next one. So cheers, guys.